Thinking of starting a real estate team? I want to tell you something that I wish people said out loud more. Do not start a real estate team just because you're looking for the title. When you're starting a real estate team, you should be doing it out of necessity. When I started our journey with Malouff International Group, my first year as an individual agent closed 85 transactions. Second year, I needed leverage and I needed help. So that's when I brought on Victoria, who's our director of operations now. She came on as my assistant back then. Second hire was a buyer specialist. Third hire was a buyer specialist. Being able to leverage the buyers and being able to leverage the operations side was able to help me focus on growth and being able to help focus on building the organization that we have today. What we're gonna go over in this video is what structure looks like, what building a team inside of a team looks like, and how to be able to grow a mega team that has a culture that is going to thrive. So first is necessity. And when you know it's necessity, because the business model you currently have is no longer enough. First it's I do it, then it's we do it, then it's they do it. Now when you understand that, then you understand you are gonna be in charge of everything in the beginning. You're writing the contracts, you're showing homes, you're doing everything on the back end. Yet once you get to a point that needs to be leveraged, and usually that's about, on an agent, it's about 7 to 10 transactions a month. That's about your limit before it starts to affect your customer experience and clients no longer have the energy that you need for them each and every day. So what do? You start to interview agents. You look for the buyer specialists. You look for the operations side. You take classes though, because you need to have the systems and tools in place to be able to help those people grow. There's a class I took in the beginning that went over what it looks like to pass the baton. And passing the baton to your operations manager, because that person is going to help you grow the systems for everybody else in the back end. They're going to help the standards. You need to create the standards inside of the organization, and then they're going to help implement it. There's a great book called Rocket Fuel. It talks about the integrator and the visionary. When you're a team leader, your goal is to be the visionary. You're going to need that integrator that is going to implement all the tools that are going to be needed to be able to help that business grow. Now, step 2 is going to be leadership. When you're growing an organization, true leaders don't develop followers, they develop more leaders. What are you going to do to be able to help grow leaders inside of your organization? How are you going to build them up? What trainings are you going to put them around? You have to go from being a producer to being a builder. And there's a big difference in that, because it's no longer about you, now it's about them. And how are you going to build them up? Yet, what got you to where you are today? You got to create those systems and you got to have that structure, because anything done more than once needs to turn into a system. So from how to create a CMA, to how to do your buyer consultation, to how to do your listing presentation. All of that becomes systems that you put into your organization, and you have that in a training library. Then, from a lead generation standpoint, from mega open houses to for sale by owners to expireds to 51st dates, building all that to be duplicatable. Once you have those in place, then you're building around people and you're helping them grow. You're teaching them how to hunt and you're leveling them up to be the best version in real estate they can be. Leadership is key, because you have to come from curiosity, not judgment. You have to ask questions, because you need to understand where that person is at. And people are going through a lot of different things, and you have to be able to have grace when grace is needed. Yet too much grace can be a hindrance. So making sure you understand that as you grow your organization, standards are important, because if you don't have standards, then you just have suggestions. So leadership is key. That is step 2. Now step 3. Step 3 is building a team inside of the team. Now there's a lot of different models that are out there. This is the model that we chose because we took a class called ESO. It's called Expansion Systems Operations. And it was teaching you how to build your team in one city and then move it to the next city and then move it to the next city. It's actually called the ink blot method. How that works is you start to get business in, say, San Antonio, where we're from. Then you start to get business in Austin, and you get, about 4 to 5 referrals within a quarter. Then it's time for you to open that next organization in that city. Yet the way I looked at it was, why do I need to build a team inside of another city when I can just build a team inside of the team and have the same structure? Because there you have a team leader, and it's the same thing that you do when building a team inside of a team. So that's how we grew it, because it gives agents also an opportunity for something to look forward to once they've earned the right. That you don't just go into a situation, you grow into situations. And these are situations to grow into. So for us, once an agent is doing 12 transactions a year, then they've earned the right to take the class to start building a team inside of a team. Then there's certain leadership classes that they have to take. They have to have one-on-one meetings with their downline each and every week. They have to have 15 protocol with their downline each and every month. Let me tell you what 15 protocol is. 15 protocol is like halftime of a sports game. On the 15th of every month, you will meet with your people and go over where they're at. So say you have an agent underneath you, and that agent's goal was 4 transactions for the month. Well, then on the 15th of every month, you would sit down with them and you would say, okay, where are you at? Now let's say they're at 1 transaction and the goal is 4. That means they're behind. So you would look at, what did their schedule look like for the first 2 weeks? Now what are we gonna add for the next 2 weeks to be able to help them reach their goal? Your goal is to make sure you're the bumpers so they don't fall in the gutter and you get them back on track. Now, building that team inside of a team, you're the platform as a team lead. You're the platform that they can plug and play. You have the systems, you have the tools, you have everything for them to be able to grow. And that's where you start to grow on the back end as a team leader. You get the coaching, you get the training, you get the media team to be able to help them, because we're not secret agents, we're real estate agents. Being able to help them build that media team, so to be able to help them grow on social media is key. You're gonna have the leverage when it comes to the transaction side. For us, we have 4 transaction coordinators that help with everything on the back end when it comes to paperwork. You're gonna put them in different types of trainings on a national level to be able to learn from other people that aren't here, because it could be same message, different messenger. That happens all the time. And then also being able to help them just grow their business, take them from, say, 6 transactions to 60 transactions. What does that look like? What do they need to add? And what does that system need to be able to build for them to be able to do that? Your world needs to be big enough for their world to fit inside of it. And that's what it looks like when you're building a team inside of a team. Now, when doing that, you have to also have culture. Culture is the foundation of your business. Now, this might sound crazy, and I don't mean for it to come off wrong for those that look at this word. In the beginning of the word culture is the word cult, and you can't spell culture without that word. So you create like a cult following because your organization is at a place where it just attracts people because of what you're about and what you're doing. Now, we looked at different organizations around the country, and the one we saw that were like, you know what, their culture grows and they're continuing to attract more and more people was a mega church. And how mega churches thrive are through their small groups. And once you know that your culture and your people see the business that you're growing as not only real estate, it's building something bigger than that. It's actually a family outside of their family. And one thing that I know we've done with our team is more of a family than some of their own blood. Now with small groups, this is what we have inside of our organization. We have faith, we have philanthropy, we have events, we have education, we have wellness. These are some of the small groups that we do events and we meet with once a quarter. So our philanthropy, we just did our Mother's Day event. Next is gonna be our backpack drive. For our faith, we have a team women's Bible study and we have a team Bible study once a month. For events, we have micro and macro events we do all throughout the year. And then education, we bring in different type of coaches that help them level up at where they're at in their business. So what we did inside of our team is we actually grew 5 different tiers that agents can grow into. As their business grows, opportunity grows. So for coaching, we have from 0 to 3 million, we have them in the group coaching when it comes to emerging agent coaching. Then we have it from there after 3 million to 10 million, they're in proven agent coaching. That's from 3 to 10 million. After 10 million to 15 million, we pay for half of their one-on-one coach. And 15 million and above, we fully pay for their coach. It's the same when it comes to virtual assistants. Once they hit 10 million, we pay for half of their virtual assistant. 15 million or more, we pay fully for their virtual assistant. We take them on a team trip once a year. Last year we went to Mexico. Year before that we went to New York. This year coming up we're going to Boston. So once a year we go on a team trip, and this is just get away from the scenery and have a change of scenery so they can get to know each other, not in business, just to hang out and just understand how each and every one of the people in our organization grow. So those are some of the things we've done to be able to help grow our culture. There's a lot of other things we do when it comes to building out the tiers. You have to figure out with yourself what tiers you need to be able to build out that are going to help your agents continue to thrive, because commission splits are only an issue in the absence of value. And that gets us to step 6, profit. When growing your organization and you're looking to help people, the best way to help the people is not to give away all of the money, because you're going to hit a ceiling. Understand you're gonna have splits inside of a team, and splits are only an issue in the absence of value. What value are you bringing to the organization? When I met with one of my coaches about 7 years ago, he looked at my split model and he said, Scott, you give, you give, you give. And he said, the best way to help the poor is not to become poor. And if you continue to give like this, you're not gonna have a team within 2 years. And now that I'm looking back at it, for us to be able to grow to the extent that we did, I needed to have more profit and more of a cushion, because then I was able to add on more people. And I was able to add on more support and more pillars for the agents to be able to grow. I've had hard times though. I've had moments where, building a team, it's not as profitable as people think. They see, oh, you get this much cut, you get this split. That's not all profit. You're gonna have fixed expenses inside of an organization. And you're gonna have a certain number that you're gonna have to hit once you grow to that level, that if you do not hit that, that's a loss for that month. Now, I've had months where it's been profitable and things are great and everybody's happy. That's one thing about being a team lead that people don't see, is behind the scenes. When you take that loss, your team's not gonna take the loss with you. You're gonna take that loss. Now, you're gonna continue to win, you're gonna continue to celebrate them, and you cannot let it affect the culture. You just need to figure out what needs to be fixed, and you need to do it fast. Because otherwise, there will be no more gas in the car. And with no more gas in the car, you're not gonna be able to run. You're gonna be running on empty. So having systems in place to know exactly what you need to do each and every week is very important. Having people inside of the office is gonna help the culture, and having things that, like we have a system that we're able to see where agents are at today, where their production is, where they're missing, and having those standards. Because doing that, you'll know who's behind, who's ahead, and who you need to coach up to be able to grow. Because growing a team is either you're coaching them up or you're coaching them out. And when it's important for yourself, if you're looking to do this, and you're like, what is the next steps I need to take? I suggest you hire a coach, you do a diagnose on exactly where your business is today, and you build out the vision of where you see it in the next 5 years. Then you work backwards, and then you ask yourself, who do I need to hire today to be able to accomplish this? What am I missing in my business? Or is my business even at the place where I should be adding other people to it? Again, you'll know it, it's about 8 to 10 transactions a month. When you're doing that for about 2 quarters in a row, that's when it's time for you to start having those conversations to be able to bring people inside of your world. Now, if you feel this helped you think differently about building a real estate team, subscribe, because we are going to be going over different things that we do to be able to help our agents, from leadership to systems and tools when it comes to lead generation, to just what we do as far as our culture. So stay with us on the journey. Let's go, let's grow, let's get it.